July 21st meeting of the Downtown Development Authority for Lathrup Village to order.
All right, awesome. So I'll do a roll call and then we'll do introductions real quick. I know we did official, but we'll do one on camera. So, Dr. Felton.
I'm sorry.
Just here.
Oh, here.
Yep. Brian Ford.
Present.
Charlotte Jones.
Present.
Bobby Lovins is absent and excused. Chief McKee, same. Fred Prime is same. Pam Schermeyer.
Here.
Dan Sugg.
Here.
And then Mayor Garrett, and we'll leave her open. So you do, Vice Chair, you do have a quorum. A 5-person quorum. It's a bare quorum, but it's a quorum. If we could just take a few moments, since we do have a couple.
You want to do the excuses first?
Oh yes, let's do the
I
excuses.
have a motion to excuse Fred Prime, Kelly Garrett, and Bobby Lovins from.
And McKee.
Oh, and Chief McKee from today's DDA meeting as they provided us notice.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. So we have a new board member. We have new staff. So if we could just take a couple seconds, minutes, to just briefly introduce ourselves, say where you're from, and what you like best about being on the DDA, that would be fantastic. I'll start. Susie Stout, your executive director. Right? I just love everything about hanging out with you guys. I think we're doing great things. Dan, take it away.
My name is Dan Sugg. I'm the Chief Mortgage Lending Officer of Michigan First Credit Union, and I've been in the DDA, I think, 6 years now, which is incredibly long, maybe 5.5 years. And I enjoy bettering the district and being a part of that. So,
awesome. I am Charlotte Jones. My husband and I, we are stewards of 18411 West 12 Mile Road, where Logos Ministries and Hope for All Seasons is housed. We are excited to be here in this wonderful city, and we enjoy doing what we do and lending a hand.
Rob.
Rob Harris, I'm the new code enforcement officer here for Lathrup Village. I came from Allen Park, where I held a similar position in the building department and code enforcement. Happy to be here. I have 3 kids, all 3 in college, so I need to be here. and of course my wife too. So again, happy to be here.
This is Rob's
Welcome.
Yeah,
What?
first week.
first week, the
Yeah.
end of his first week. So happy to have him. I haven't even broke him in yet with all the things that we need to talk about. So,
Hi, my name is Patricia Felton, and I'm excited to be here. The reason I'm excited because I was born to be a change agent, and I was born to make a difference. And so being on the committee makes me feel fulfills my purpose of what I'm here for. So I'm excited.
wonderful. Welcome.
Thank you.
I'm Pam Baracci. I am the treasurer of the DDA board, treasurer of the city. Right now I am interim city administrator. And I like being on the DDA board. I like the things that they're doing with the DDA money, and I like to manage it for them so that they can do those fun things and improve this downtown district.
Thank you, Pam.
Yep.
And I am Pam Schermeyer, a Lathrup Village resident since 1983. I'm a retired journalist and been on the board for a few years, and I just enjoy knowing what's going on. And I'm also a frequent volunteer at Lathrup Village events.
Thank you, Pam. Brian.
So I'm Brian Ford. I've been on the DDA now for a little over 3 years, I believe. I've been a Lathrup Village resident since January of 2002. I work for Oxford Bank, and one of the reasons I enjoy being on the DDA is that, or at least what has called me to serve on the DDA, is that the state of the appearance of Lathrup Village is a little bit dated, and through our efforts here, we really have an impact in adding vibrancy and renewed luster to what is going on in the downtown district. And that's a lot of fun for me, because it's nice to see that change and say, hey, I had something to do with that. I'm proud of all the hard work that we put into in this committee. So.
Well, thank you, sir. And last but not least.
Last but not least, obviously, Brittany Dorsey, DDA manager, and I just enjoy helping out. However, I can help the businesses within the district, the residents, doing work and volunteer work in the city hall with the kids, just all the good stuff, all the fun stuff. Giving back gives me purpose as well, so that's how I feel.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate that. And with those wonderful introductions, we can now move on to the rest of the agenda, sir.
So we need a motion to approve the agenda.
I make a motion to approve the agenda.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Brings us to approval of the minutes from our last meeting.
Is it for the last two meetings?
Actually, it's last two meetings, a
Yeah, we
special
have
meeting as well.
separate motions for each, though.
For each.
Oh, okay.
Please.
Well, I've read both, so I'd be glad to move that we approve the minutes for the, let's see, what date is that? June 16th DDA meeting.
I'll second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye. And then if you haven't already read it, I can wait, but if not, I'll also
We need a motion for
move-
approval
yeah,
of the special meeting.
move to
June
approve.
29th.
Exactly, so moved.
And second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brings us to financial review.
Okay. The only thing I have, and I didn't put a memo together, I'm sorry about that, but I've been pulled in a few different directions. The only thing that is, if you look at your page 5, you look at your amended budget, you were going to be taking out $45,000 from the fund balance. And if you look at your 6/30 pre-audit, so that's before our audit is done, you actually are putting $170,000 back into the fund balance.
Which page is that on?
Page 5.
Oh, it's all on page 5. right?
Yep, so if you look at the very bottom line, the first column is your original budget, what you budgeted, you were gonna take out $465,000 out of fund balance. You amended your budget to take out $45,000, and as of year to date right now, before the audit, you are putting back $170,000. And that number could change per audit, because sometimes we have to move and adjust something, so. Yep, so that's really good to do that, from moving from a $465 deficit to $170 back into your fund balance. So I hope we can keep it at that $170 going back in. It just, that we have journal entries that come up with the audit and things like that, so I just don't know if that's gonna be our final number or not.
When will the audit be done?
I'm working on it now, but it's August 15th they're out, then they're out September 5th, the day after Memorial or Labor Day for the week, so they're up for 2 weeks this year. They had never been that way, but there's so much going on in the city that they can't get a lot of our stuff done. And then like last year, it wasn't done till November.
Wow.
So I'm hoping that we can get it done by September, October. Well, at the October meeting, I'm hoping.
Pam, we won't have to do any other, I mean, there's no other adjustments or
You can't
amendments
make
that
any more
we
budget
make, right?
amendments,
So,
Yep.
Okay. I did have one thing I just
Yep.
wanted clarification on. This is page 6. Yeah,
Budget.
the cumulative balance sheet, comparing the period ending in June of '22 versus June of '23. Just the due from general fund under assets and the due to general fund under liabilities.
That is money that has just started coming in, and we've been paying out bills. The general fund pays out all your bills out
Yeah.
of our checking account. I did have that cleaned up in May, but then when June comes, there were other things that came out, so it's just a matter of, it's gonna be back and forth, and there might be some things that at the end, because I always do a cleanup on due to, due froms, that might clean that up.
Okay, so
It might be down.
nothing to be concerned about here, just move along.
Not yet, not yet.
So said differently, the city pays like the salaries and the benefits, and then we pay our portion of it through there.
We cut the checks. The general fund cuts all the checks.
Checks.
And then, except for taxes and water, we have 3 different checking accounts.
Okay.
So anything that we take out of water comes directly out of there. But because the DDA does not have its own checking account, they have like a
Right.
trust account. We pay their bills, so so they would owe the general fund that money. But then when the money comes in for your taxes and that's all coming into the general fund, so then the general fund would do to the DDA that money.
Right.
So you're kind of going back and forth with do froms.
Okay.
And they just get cleaned up during the year, they'll get cleaned up and that's what I did last time you saw that. There wasn't a very big balance there at all. But then, there could have been something that was paid big, some curbs, I'm not even sure what all came out of there, so, but, yeah.
So when it is all figured out and
Audit.
balanced, okay.
Yeah.
Is it
so-
likely that our total fund balance will be affected one way or the other?
It might be a little bit, but it all depends on what the do froms are at the end.
Okay.
Because I think there are still a few do from things, so. Okay.
Good.
Pam, I'm hiring business underwriters, and you seem to have the acumen.
No.
Like to apply.
I can barely open a spreadsheet, let alone work
No,
with
you're
one.
doing fine, you're doing fine. Is there any other questions on anything?
Not hearing any other questions, motion to accept financials. for
Second.
This meeting.
All in favor?
Aye.
Brings us to committee reports.
All right, Brett, would you like to give us an update
Was that?
on the committee reports? Do you want to give us a quick update?
Yes, so we had a great meeting yesterday with our promotions committee, and we spent a lot of time discussing our new banner design. We're ordering new banners for Southwood Road, and we narrowed it down to pretty much 2 options, a couple different designs. It was actually a really fun discussion to help us kind of get some identity with, the Garden City aspect and different terminology. Maybe we'll add later on to banners. But for now, we did kind of conclude the color scheme and the look that we'd like for our new banners. As far as the beautification committee, we've still got to follow up on some things, but I don't know if you guys have noticed, we've done a much better job this year with the flowers along Southfield Road. Flowers are looking amazing. If you see the guys outside, most of the guys are pulling weeds, as I said before, Garden City, it's a big deal because there are weeds everywhere. Like if we have 2 or 3 days of rain, the weeds could go up to my waist, sometimes my shoulder. That's how tall they are. So that's one of the biggest things that we've been working on as far as beautification, is just making sure that the flowers look good, make sure that we're not overgrown with weeds. We've recently decided to help out with the community garden, which is coming along. Other than that, we've been working on the events that we have coming up. So planning, getting vendors in place, promoting these events in the city newsletter as well as the DDA newsletter, which will start going out as of today. And just really trying to get people more involved and kind of, once again, get people to interact with these events that we have coming up. So, we'll do the block club party again. We've got the backpack giveaway coming up that we're working with Logos on that. So just be on the lookout for an update with more events, and that's pretty much it as far as on the committee side. If you guys have any questions, obviously you can always call, email, but now if you have any questions, let me know.
Where are we suspending the banners?
The banners are going to replace the ones that are already up on the poles along Southfield Road.
They're gonna, it's, the banners that are currently up are, we did those before we did the branding, our rebranding campaign. So, these new banners, and the intent has always been to kind of have multiple sets of banners that we can, rotate through, help increase the longevity of those banners. And so these banners are with our current branding, our new branding information, logos and colors.
You mentioned helping out with community gardening. You mean the children's garden?
Yes.
That's
Okay.
what I meant. The
Yes.
children's
Okay.
garden.
Yeah.
Yes, which is a much larger project because it's, like I said, those weeds. The pathway is covered. And the guys have already pretty much cleared the walkway through the garden. So yeah, that's what I meant, the children's garden.
Great.
Thank you.
Yeah, we're working with
Oh.
Horlicks on that one.
How could I forget? I'm sorry. Yes. What Susie said, we're working with Horlicks on the monument and on a bunch of other things around City Hall. However, we did clear the pickleball court as well as the dog park. That took like 4 days. We had about 8 to 10 guys out there working very diligently. So I encourage you, if you see them, say hello to them. If you can, give them some encouragement because
Are these boys to men?
Yes.
some of them are boys to men, some of them are from my nonprofit, which is In the Know, and these
Okay.
are my basketball kids. So
Okay, right.
there's half and half. However, the kids saw people in the dog park, and they were like, "Hey, we keep seeing people in there." They're like, "Yeah, they're coming back. They're coming back." They feel good about doing the work.
Providing
So
access, yeah.
absolutely. So when we approach them, let's make sure that we make them feel even more support and appreciation for that, because obviously we want them to feel comfortable in what they're doing every day. In the sun, it's
Is there an
hot.
opportunity to provide more appreciation for them? I know they're volunteers, but maybe like a
Yeah.
pizza party or something?
Absolutely.
Would it
They're
be
always
exciting?
hungry.
Yeah.
They always ask.
Yeah, we did buy them. We did have a little
Okay,
pizza
good.
lunch the other day. We do that, but I think overall at the end of the
Yeah.
summer too, I think doing
For
something
sure.
fun would be great.
Because we make time for the seniors as well. So when we go visit the seniors, they're like, "Well, are you feeding them? Are you hydrating them?" I'm like, "Yeah." I'm actually coming out of pocket to feed these kids because they have to eat. But yes, so there are ways that you guys can. We've had some of our seniors bake cookies. We've had snacks, all kind of things. So they will eat all of that and they will appreciate it.
They are teenage boys after all.
Absolutely. Yes. So great things happening across the board with the committees. They've been helping out so much, and the guys have been helping. So
Great.
good feedback for me.
Any of no social media?
What's the social media? Social media is on the up and up. So looking for some help with the social media consistency with posting. But no, we're going to find an intern for that at some point to help with social media, which is also a big part of city happenings. We also have to find an alternative for people who don't have social media. So let's keep that in mind. But other than that, we'll talk offline about the social media fun.
I do see the mailers coming in the snail mail
Yeah.
every month or so.
Which
So how did that happen?
snail? What?
One was a summer concerts, just an insert in the. I guess it must have been
The Southwood Sun?
Yeah, Southwood Sun.
That was
Okay.
probably through the community foundation.
Mhm.
The
Okay.
community foundation
Okay.
takes the lead on the summer concerts in the city and DDA.
Okay.
Kind of help at the event.
Okay.
Or, the day of in terms of setup and getting some signs out and just.
I see. Okay.
But that's a community foundation.
Yeah, the DDA hasn't.
Initiative.
We haven't put anything in the Southwood Sun really since we released the calendar earlier this year. Susie and I haven't really discussed putting anything in there yet, but I'm sure we will later once we solidify a few more details. But do you think that the Southwood Sun? Do you think that people actually read the Southwood Sun still, like the paper?
No, but you have to kind of prevent the inserts from falling out, and
Oh, you're saying it was an.
it's
like
a mail,
inside
flyer
of-
inserted
oh.
inside,
Oh,
so
that's
it's
what
not
you're saying.
not
Okay,
actually
okay.
the
Oh, okay.
paper. So.
Yeah, no. That,
So I mean, I stumbled across
sometimes
them.
they staple them, but
Forced attention.
Yes, yeah. So it's,
Um,
and it is a good way to reach people who aren't online or not online enough to.
Very true. I mean, if I print another flyer, I might wake up and just picture flyers for the rest of my life. I mean, I've been printing flyers, passing out flyers, posting flyers, but yeah, there's just something missing that we're still working on. We'll figure it out. I think we'll figure it out with this event that we have planned for September, the end of the summer.
I'll get there.
We'll discuss that later, but yeah. So that's it for me. I feel like I've spoken enough.
Any other questions for Brett?
I'm supposed to do it next.
All right. we'll move on to my CED report. There, you know, I mean, we are getting through our new businesses, right? We have 44 Burrito, just got approval. They're a new business. They're locating in the former Ruby Lee's Chicken, which was also the former Happy's location. So 44 Burrito is the newest restaurant to be locating in there. They are a food truck that has found a home.
Do they do breakfast burritos? Because I was dreaming about those this morning.
You know, I'm sure that we can ask Tara about
see if they do
breakfast burritos.
That would be a hit.
We were all mightily hungry after the planning commission meeting. I will say that, but I digress. So they got approval at the planning commission on this past Tuesday for their outdoor patio. They are concurrently working on their interior build out right now. So I would expect that they're going to be open probably September-ish, August, September-ish. So that's the newest one, and then we've also right next door. That property owner is, they will be going through site plan review. I'm sure if you've driven past there, you've seen their sign showing that they have a laundromat open soon. That is not been approved yet. The planning commission did give them a zoning determination to say yes, that is a permitted use. It didn't quite fit within our definition, so I had them go to planning commission to make sure that yes, this is a personal service, it fits within the permitted use. If the planning commission had said otherwise, it more than likely would have been a special land use. So so that new business is going through the process now. They will be their overall intent is to completely renovate that facade to be more in line with what the facade is down at 44 Burrito and that whole process. So, you know, we will be seeing a whole big facelift, so that's exciting. We do have Style Guru, I think that was in there the last time. So we are moving forward, and this is, you know, this is exciting to see investment. There's the sign release across the street, so that's a big step for that particular property owner. So I'm sure I'll start getting calls about that one. We are continuing our partnership with Oak Park and Southfield and Main Street, Oakland County, on our business workshop series. The next one will be August 24th, and it's going to focus on Are You E-Commerce Ready? And that's going to be a lunch and learn. And then we will have a networking event for our 3 communities. I believe it's November 9th, and we're still working out some of those details. But we're getting a lot of really good feedback, and it seems like we're going to have some copycats from our other Main Street communities, so that's always fun too, right? Do a little R&D, rip off and duplicate. So, let's see. Also, I want to make sure, just make you all aware. I'm sure you saw that if you saw your emails this morning, you saw that the crowdfunding campaign for the remaining match dollars is live, right? Our goal is $20,000. Originally, we anticipated it was going to be significantly higher at $80,000 and change. The county was able to really work their budget numbers for all of the communities and reduce all of our matching requirements. So that's why there's a drop in what we need to match. But so that's live. Please contribute. Please share often. Share widely. Share all over the place.
I must have missed that.
No, you know, I don't see it in my.
Maybe I didn't hit. I hope I hit send. It was an early morning email at like 7:15. So or maybe it's still stuck in my draft. I forgot the coffee. But that campaign will go through the end of October. That'll collect, that'll allow us to hit all the remaining upcoming events that we had.
Yeah, you sent the meeting date for it, though. You invited everyone to the meeting.
Okay. Oh, I didn't send, all right, so I'll send you I'll hit send on the email that I thought I hit send. And then, so Britt mentioned it, it didn't get on to my report, but I was approached by a few residents. Well, I'll back up and say, you know, we were planning to do our own end of the summer concert to kind of cap off the summer, right? And it was going to be separate from the concerts put on by the Community Foundation. And then about 2 weeks ago, I was approached by some residents, and they were interested in kind of picking my brain for how can we want to do something for the residents to really bring us together and focus on the community and celebrate. And you know, we were thinking about doing some sort of concert. And these are the individuals that were involved previously with the summer stroll, which was a reoccurring event for many years. And I said, well, as you know, luck would have it, we were already planning to do something along those lines, and perhaps we can combine efforts and do that. So, so we're moving ahead with that. We've selected a date of Saturday, September 30th. It'll be from 2 to 8 p.m. And we've only had one meeting, right? So we're still very much in the early stages of planning. But we're looking to have several events, or several acts and entertainers, and this is going to be very Lathrup Village centric. We want Lathrup Village entertainers. We want Lathrup Village businesses to participate. Lathrup vendors of all sorts, you know. So we're really hyper local is what we're focused on for this particular event. So I just want to let you know, we've invited the promotions committee to participate in helping make sure that we're really having a well-rounded committee of DDA and these residents that are interested in partnering with us. So we're excited for that, and stay tuned for more information as we get through that planning process. Any
You made mention of the resurfacing of Southfield Road here. Was anything new out of that meeting? And it's not really the rebuild they talked about.
No, it's not a rebuild. It is more than a light resurfacing, right? It's more than a little mill and overlay, but it's not a full reconstruct by any means. We're not putting in the boulevard, we're not doing the whole bells and whistles. The road does need work. There are drainage improvements that need to occur. And this is meant to kind of tackle those issues while we continue to save for the very large reconstruction project. I know that the road commission is finalizing their designs. I must have been a squeaky enough wheel because when we met with them, one of my questions was going to be like, so are we going to get some more pedestrian crossings? I didn't even say anything. They're already planning to rehab the light, put in a beefier light up there at Sunset and Golden Gate, and then they are looking at locations to put in another pedestrian crossing somewhere in the closer vicinity to City Hall, and then I've asked them to see if they can find something between Sunset and 12 Mile, and they're like, yeah, we want to align it with the EA. I don't know what happened, but I like whatever I did. So, and then we also got word from, separate from the Southfield Road project, but I got word about a week ago, or maybe 2 weeks ago, right around the 4th. I think it was just after the 4th of July. The hawk signal down at Margate. The road commission has told us, not just a hawk signal. It's going to be a full signal. We think it's going to be safer. So that's an upgrade. So I'm thrilled with that too. So
How does that work? If we already committed to the grant, do they just get reimbursed, or are they going to pick up the extra cost? How does that work?
oh, we'll probably still end up having to pay that extra cost, but I think it would be an extra cost worth incurring. And I don't know if I honestly don't know how much of a extra cost it may or may not be.
More of
So,
a designation for them. Okay.
okay. But going back to the Southfield Road project, so I know that they are, they're still finalizing their, internally their own designs and getting their budget numbers ready. They have said they're going to be organizing public meetings, and that we will have something here in the fall. I'm really waiting to get details from them before I can really start sharing information, right? And saying, hey, we're gonna have a public meeting. I need more to be able to present. So that will start happening. They've been told it would behoove them to have more than one meeting, right? Have one in the fall, have one, maybe have another one in the spring.
All right, best guess. You think we're going to have a new Southfield Road by the end of this decade?
Oh, fully reconstructed?
Yes.
No, I don't. I think we will have an improved Southfield Road. But the last price tag I heard for the full reconstruction, and this for the whole project, not just our portion, but from 10.5 all the way up to 13, it's approximately $130 million. So pretty sure most of us don't have that in our back pockets. I'm not sure how we would get that funded. Sounds like the road commission's not entirely sure how we would get a $130 million project funded either. So, but we're gonna keep making our own improvements and keep working towards the activities in our development plan as it already is, and making sure that those projects are aligned with what was in the environmental assessment, which is really the guiding document for this Southfield Road reconstruction. Right? So I'll remain cautiously optimistic, but I won't hold my breath. So.
Okay.
Any other questions?
Oh, the trees.
The trees.
Have we selected our trees, or is that
I
to
have.
come yet?
I have one part of my conversation with Portilus the other day was about trees. I had worked with Roger Lynn back in the fall, and we've identified locations and kind of like, okay, we want a larger tree here, very rough on the species, like, flowering trees here, deciduous here. I'm waiting for those quotes. I mean, it wasn't just Portilus. I've reached out to a few others, so I'm just waiting to get those quotes back and see what they have to say. So we're still on track for planting in September, and the planting would be done by whichever contractor ends up getting selected to do the work.
Mm-hmm.
Takes us to old business. Was there any old business?
No old business.
Takes us to new business.
All right.
Approve or deny the sign grant?
Well, so we do not have sufficient members to deal with this, because Charlotte would have to recuse herself from the vote, because this is her property. So, sorry.
No problem.
Let's see, is it tabling? I think we have to
Table that till next month?
Yes, table that to the next.
Do you need a motion?
Yes. we
Motion
need-
to table the sign grant application presented for Logos and Old 12 Seasons.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And that's for the next table until the next DDA meeting.
August 19th.
Brings us to the DDA website discussion.
All right, so I know Britt and I have both talked about this in the promotions committee meeting. I think we probably talked about this in EV. One of the things that we have been working towards is really making sure that people are aware of the DDA, what we do, our activities, our projects, as well as differentiating ourselves from the city. You know, I mean, we don't know. Say DDA and people are like, huh? Say Downtown Development Authority, people are just like, huh? So, you know, on our website, right now we have a series of pages that are embedded within the city's website. Other than having our logo on them, it doesn't, there's no differentiation between us and the city. We do have, several years ago, when Corey was still here, she and I had worked with this company Munibit to compile and host a business directory on our website, and that's worked out for us. And as Britt and I were speaking with our representative, I think that was back in May. He said, well, we also do websites, and they actually are focused on small communities and DDAs. They're part of their own DDA in St. Charles, Missouri, and so that was part of their impetus for going down this kind of path. But we said, we can do that and develop a standalone website for you. I mean, you would be much like the city's current website through Revise. We would be responsible for all the updating all the content, making any changes, but they could get that set up for us, and it's incredibly affordable. It is $29 monthly for an annual cost of $348. There's no extra fees through Munibit. There's no setup cost. They would be able to take the information. Obviously we'd have to tell them, hey, these are the pages that we want you to migrate information from, but they can migrate information from our existing website to a new website. We still get the directory. We still get all of their support and training. They would still be able to link our website to the city's website, and there be a seamless transition. We can get them to work with Revise. They're familiar with Revise. I believe this total setup for this time-wise would be about, I think he said 90 days at most.
Max.
So
we already have a few things established already with Reese, so like we said, to migrate, it wouldn't be a difficult process.
Right. So the only other cost is to get our domain, right? So.
Yeah, you want to make sure you want to.
Right. So, and that's, it's $4 to start, and then it's $23 a year through GoDaddy, right? I just did a quick search yesterday. So, and Lathrup Village DDA is available. Downtown Lathrup is available. So we could, it appears as if we have some options. So, and while the total cost is not necessarily, that's within my spending purview, this is a pretty big change. So I wanted to bring it to you guys before I said, yeah, let's do it.
Excuse me. What's the purpose?
The purpose is to help us have our own presence online. Right now, like I said, we're just kind of mingled with the city's page. The city's page is not.
And that's going to help do what, I guess, by you separating from the city? What is that going to help do for the DDA?
I think that'll help people realize that we are our own entity,
Okay.
right?
Well, you know, not to go words in your mouth, but I think it's gonna drive engagement with our member business community.
Okay.
Today, there's zero engagement from them. They really
Gotcha.
don't know where to find any resources. We have a couple of social media pages that we, scatter
Mhm.
information on, but
Mhm.
I think for disseminating information to our business
Okay.
members and providing them a caveat to bring shoppers in through that presence, I think would be the reason we do it.
Okay.
Yes, I was gonna say this, the same thing. It's really so that we could kind of magnify the businesses.
Mhm.
So there will be a link that is associated to, for example, the
Mhm.
Ambassadors Institute website and all of the other businesses within our district.
Oh, okay.
Not only do we want people to know what the DDA is, but the purpose of the DDA. So
To benefit our
the purpose
district.
is the Main Street aspect, is a small business aspect. So
Mhm.
that's the biggest aspect, is making sure that they can find you through our page, because the city page is a little bit overwhelming because there's so many drop downs and so many options. We figure if we separate, that way people can go straight to our page for business directory, for other resources, that they need from the DDA.
You'd
Thank
still
you.
have a link from the city site to this now instead of to your page, so you just drive them here, so.
Absolutely. I mean, we'd still have that connection to the city.
Do you want to feature certain businesses within the website periodically too?
Absolutely.
I think so. I think
Yeah.
that would be a great thing. I mean, we've talked about
Well, then Lathrup.
Bob and Lathrup, featured Fridays, right? We did the videos before. We've talked about, doing something different, but kind of similar along those, because those videos worked out great. But
Having the freedom to do that.
and really
on
being
our
able to.
page, yeah. We can highlight businesses on the front page as well. That's why, that's another part of it where.
And you, being an educator, you may want to have a piece on about every time I meet people who want to start businesses,
Mm-hmm.
not knowing how to start, what to do first, second, and third. So having an education arm on that website would be.
And a lot of that, it's funny. Funny, not funny. It is on information like that is on our pages, but it's so difficult to
Yeah,
find.
true.
It's like, so this will, I'm really hoping this will make that
Easier.
easier.
Mhm.
Information should be easier for our businesses and prospective businesses,
And more
right?
accessible.
Yeah.
What kind of contract is it? Is it annual or is it month to month?
It is.
It's month to month, but we could choose to pay annually. I believe there's an option to do both.
We just want to make sure you're
Either
not locking up with a 5-year deal or something.
Oh,
like that.
no.
I wouldn't expect it
It'd
to-
be monthly or annually.
Yeah.
I took a look at their website, and like it's pretty standard. I mean, everything is template driven, so
Mhm.
you can easily. And
Plug
I
things
presume
in.
you need to know nothing about the code.
No,
You just
and he
plug
did
it
show
in.
us the back end, and it's, I mean, I've been working with the city's website for a while, right? Like, I'm used to it.
Mhm.
That's, our website is not as necessarily as intuitive as this one. I mean, this is like, hey, drag, drop,
Right.
upload, done, hey, we're live. So, I mean, it's definitely a much easier template
Yeah.
to use.
Yeah. So it sounds like the only thing we need to do is really figure out what's our domain name.
Yes.
It's, I mean,
Yeah,
there's kind
you know.
of two schools of thought in that you want to be as clear and logical as possible, but you don't want it to be too long.
Right.
Exactly.
So you have to kind of figure out what you want to do. I mean,
Yes, you guys can do
LVDDA
it.
is the shortest, but not the best, because
Exactly.
nobody knows what
what is it?
LVDDA.
Right.
Yeah,
What's LV?
so-
What's DDA?
So
right?
Love and Lathrop, or Lathrop Businesses, or LV Business, or, I mean, something, downtown Lathrop, something simple would work.
Any suggestions?
I already trademarked Law and Lathrop, so. No, I'm joking.
Are you willing to share that with us?
Yeah.
Love and Lathrop behind our back.
Yeah. The only thing I worry about that is people will say, now, is there a G in that, loving, or is it L? What do I do with the apostrophe, so
Right,
it'd be-
yeah.
That is the copy editor coming out
Yeah.
right there. Well, let us see what we'll search a bunch of different combinations and see.
Well, I would like to make a motion to authorize the DDA director to enter into an agreement / contract with Unibit to establish a standalone DDA website.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, awesome, thanks. All right, so, August meeting discussion.
I'm gonna be in Aruba. Let's discuss that.
I was really excited to be up in the UP for that, but I think I'd probably wish I was in Aruba. So, yes, I am not going to be in town for our next meeting, which is supposed to be August 15th. We do have business, right? We have our sign grant application. I do have a couple other, excitingly, I do have a couple other, I have 2 more sign grant applications and a facade application, so that's exciting.
I'm sorry, what date did you just say?
August 15th.
Okay,
is the
she
date.
threw me off with the
Sorry.
15th. Okay.
That's the date that it is currently.
Mhm.
So we are gonna have business to accomplish.
18th.
18th, sorry, I guess I'm
15th is
Don't-
when we're on vacation.
I'm
Yeah,
right.
15th is Tuesday, and that's why I keep throwing
Yeah.
it.
No, sorry. Nope. Don't trust me today on that date thing, I guess.
Are you suggesting we move to the 25th or something?
Yes, I am. I am suggesting that we pick a date for sometime after that. Let's see, we could do it at any point during the following week.
Yeah.
Like the 21st, 22nd, 23rd. I've been working diligently to burn my comp time, so I'm not working on Fridays.
I'm only available on the 25th. I don't get
Only
back
on
until the 24th. So
Okay, all right. I can work around.
I don't have to
can-
be the only one here. I'm just.
We could do the 28th if that works for anybody. I mean,
Is there a motion?
does anybody see any difficulties with moving it to the 25th? Would you prefer that I put out a?
My calendar is not popular. This is a loaner. like
Oh,
I
yeah,
said.
you got
I
your
don't know.
loaner.
So I would just have to say.
I can throw
I'll
out
make
a
every effort,
doodle.
so.
I can put out a doodle poll too and see, and suggest, dates throughout that week if
Yeah,
that's.
because you have 3 to 4 people in here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
that's
that's
probably
a
the
good
best.
A doodle, but
Yeah.
overall, do we
You just
think
want to make
that?
sure you have a quorum on top of your years.
Yes. All right, doodle poll. Alright, so I'll shoot for I'll do a doodle poll and shoot for the last week of
25th.
August,
28th.
yep.
Yep, somewhere in there.
So for those of you here, would you prefer morning, lunch? Morning, lunch,
Yeah, keep it
or
at noon.
whatever?
Yeah, you gotta keep it at noon, right?
Okay. Well, no, I don't have,
No,
we don't
you-
have to, this would end up being a special meeting,
Well,
right? So we'll cancel the regular meeting and this would be a special meeting, so, alright. Well, I'll put some options out there, and I'll send that out this afternoon as well, so.
Brings us to public comment.
Yeah, a couple of things. We were questioned about the tree grant at our last council meeting, and so from what you said, Susie, I'm assuming that the trees have not been ordered?
No, I'm waiting for quotes.
Okay. And so there wouldn't be plans for planting. Also, you're not utilizing the tree committee or knowledgeable residents who have offered to help.
I have worked with Roger Lynn, and he was on that committee.
Roger Lynn was the one who was asking the questions.
I was working with Roger. He and I walked with Dusty, and we picked out a whole bunch of different locations. And he's the one I've been.
Is this just recently? 'Cause
I
this
know
was
that
just last
he and I
week.
walked back in November and really worked, went through that. I've used the information that he and I talked about for the quotes. So,
Go back to Roger. hawk signals, why is it being put on Margate? What is the reasoning for that, and what?
That was the location that the road commission said that they were amenable to. It is in alignment with the, there's more than there was about a dozen locations called out in the environmental assessment for pedestrian crossings. Margate is one of those, near one of those locations. I met with the engineers for road commission out on site back in the fall to talk about where may be suitable, and that was the location they felt was the most suitable for the location of that signal.
Okay, thanks. And then Dan mentioned business members of the DDA. Do we have members? Is there membership for
No,
businesses being the DDA?
I may have
wait.
used the wrong term.
No.
All businesses in the district
Uh-huh.
are members of the DDA. It's not a member structure, right?
Oh, okay.
Everybody is a member,
Oh,
regardless of whether if you have property within the DDA, you are
considered
part
a
of the
member.
DDA.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Is that it for public comment?
I just wanted to say, just, only been here a week, but just, driving up and down, which I believe is the DDA area, just, there's some vacant areas, and look to get those, dealing with those property owners and whoever owns them to get them cleaned up and get them, and hopefully, if needed, maybe work with our city attorney also to make some new ordinances that, for this area, especially the DDA area, up and down Southfield. I'm just, just noticing, tall grass and vacant buildings and, donation boxes on vacant buildings, tall, weeds. So stuff like that. And today I found a horse trailer, parked, so there's things that should be on property, things that shouldn't be on property, things that, if you, it should go through it. Yeah, there's a horse trailer parked in a business today. Yeah, so it's out, so just different things.
They want to mow the lawn.
Or bring my goats in
Yeah.
for free lawn management. That sounds. We have a lot to talk about when we when you have a moment to breathe.
Well, welcome.
Yep,
And,
thanks.
Good luck, and just remember they're all citizens. All citizens of Lathrup Village.
So that brings us to item 10, which is, we need a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Whoa.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.